Okay, great. So we will continue the journey into Hibernate. Yesterday we started and we completed the theory part of it. It was completely a theory session yesterday. So I was explaining all the concepts. So the base, whichever you need for knowing the hands-on. So today's session we will write our first program connecting to the database without using query. Without using query, we will write a program, connect with the database, fetch the data and display it here. Okay, so I have one, I think I wrote a JDBC program. So this program, we have written it earlier and using queries. So we have these queries here. Okay, so we had written this program earlier. We used get connection method to retrieve a connection using class.forName. So that is a traditional way of doing it. So with Hibernate, let us see how do we do it. Yesterday we saw that the basics for Hibernate is the session factory. So here in the main program, what I will do is I will first write one method in a util file. I'll create one Java file. I've created a file as Hibernate utils. It is a file. Inside this file, I will be creating. I have initialized a session factory. I've just declared a session factory, and I have written a method as get session factory. Inside the get session factory, I am initializing the Hibernate's properties. So what are the properties we need to get a connection? In the traditional program or way of getting a connection, we need the driver class name, the URL, which includes the username and the password. The same way, we will set the driver. So there is a settings, which is from the properties java.util. First, we create a new configuration, hibernate.cfg configuration. Here it is, hibernate.cfg.configuration. And I create a properties and I add all these values into the properties. So into the environment.driver, which is a keyword inside the properties. If I go into environment dot, I can see all the keywords which is there, like acquire connection. All these are called enum data types, which is a predefined constant value inside the properties. Into this, I set the driver and the driver class com MySQL JDBC driver. We have the URL, so I copied the URL as it is, whatever we gave, and the username and the password. So dialect Hibernate, we saw yesterday that Hibernate will be automatically selecting the dialect based on the database to which it is connecting. So we need not give a dialect here. I can remove this line. And show SQL true. This will enable or disable the SQL for us to debug. During development, we have to give as true. Once we move to production, we have to give as false so that we don't see the query. Otherwise, every simple query will be printed in the console. And then these are all not needed. This was for testing purpose. Okay. Then we add this settings into a configuration. This is a one-time setup, so you will get these codes in Google. Just the concept alone, try to understand. So we set all these values into the settings, and we set the settings into a configuration, Hibernate configuration class. And along with that, if you see, I have added one more thing, configuration.add annotated class, which is user.class, which means I'm telling this is the place I'm configuring that this class you have to map it with a database table. So I give the class name here. So coming back here, yesterday I said that here we have to give entity, which means every class object is a row in the database, and we have to give the table name. The ID is an generated value, like how the auto generation is generated, and what is the column name. This is the column in the database, and I have two columns, username. I'm mapping two columns. So here, coming back here, we are adding annotated class. If we have multiple classes, we can add it here. We can add annotated class, and we can give all the classes. Now, what Hibernate will do is, as soon as it is getting a connection, it will map this object to the database, this table. It will ensure that the columns in the table, user ID is mapped to this Java user ID, and the username in the table is mapped to the Java username. And this is a syntax. We use a service registry to build it, and then we build the session factory. So this is a syntax. Once you call, this should be called only once. Once we do this, the session factory will be built and the session factory will be ready. So only one method is there in this file, util file, and we have the session factory ready. So this class is a configuration class which is done one time in an application. We provide all the configuration details. Now coming to the main program where this configuration is being called. So I am creating since this method is a static, you see here it is a static. I said that static methods are loaded in the JVM by default, so that you can call the static method without creating an object. So I'm not creating here an object of Hibernate utils, but I am calling the static method directly. And once I call this method, the method is going to return me a session factory, org.hibernate.session factory. So I catch that session factory and I hold it in a variable as SF, which is session factory object. Now using the session factory, I get the session factory actual instance, and then I open the session. I can either open the session or I can get the current session if there is a session. So I'll show you the difference. Let me comment it out. Okay. Now I'll print this session factory. If I run it, so I go here. And there is a session. Okay, this is an object. We cannot get any details from it. I sf dot get session factory dot get current session. Let us see if there is any session currently available or not. Okay, it says that no current session context configured, which means there is no session available. Few times in the application, when we use Spring Boot, the current session would be available. First time when we create a session, we will not be creating a session, will not be opening a session every time. Instead, we will be having the session only once and we will reuse the same session. So that time, get current session will be used. So for now, it is null. So we go to the open session. And let me print out the session and show you. In fact, I'll do a debug so that we can open up the variable. Okay, we have the argument F6. It is building. You see here, the building of session factory takes some time. See, 8, 12, 15 seconds it start. Not even 15, like 5 seconds it started. It is still building, still building. Still, now only it has come. See, 8, 12, 49 seconds. Nearly 8, 12, 5 seconds it started. The first log came 15 seconds, but 5 to 10 seconds it started. 49 seconds it ended. So you should stay, I mean, you should focus attention to these minor things when you run programs. So nearly it took 50 seconds. Nearly it took 50 seconds to build a session factory. So now what I will do, I will go into this SF and I will let me open up. Let me open up the
Rajesh, here,
yeah.
What we're trying to do, we're going to connect the Hibernate to SQL, right? That's what we're going to SQL
Yes,
database.
correct. We are going to connect to database using Hibernate.
Okay. Before we connected directly from Java
JDBC.
to JDBC to okay.
So now, if you open the session factory, okay, after session factory, okay. So what is there in the session factory? There's nothing for us UUID. Okay, but if I open the session, it is taking some time still. Okay, then I stop the session. Let me actually after this I'll do a sysout. Session object. Yeah, these basic things you need to understand. That's why I want to give a debug on this and show you what is in the session OBJ. Okay, so F6 we have it. The session object is going to contain the auto close, auto clear, the transactions are null, the flush mode, batch size is not there. What else is there? JDBC connection access, so it has the connection provider. So these classes will be available here. We'll not be using it directly, but you should know what is there in the session object. That's why I wanted to keep a debug. Now, after we get a session object, from the session, we need to create a criteria. Criteria is the condition based on which you want to, okay, how you want to fetch the data. That is what criteria is. It's a common English word, criteria. So using the session object, we create a criteria and I pass in the T001 user object, which I gave in the you see here, annotated class I gave. Now this is not an object. You should not see this as a Java class. It is a table. Now I am trying to fetch that table, and I give criteria, and I give criteria dot. So we have a create criteria. See here, it is taking different arguments, overloading the same method with different arguments. Now criteria dot, again we have so many methods. It is for different purpose, like fetch set, set fetch size is for pagination, first result, flush mode, and max result. These are all for pagination. So there are various handful of methods. You see here, there is a join also, left join, full join. We'll see all these things. And now my aim is just to query this table and bring out the result. So I'll do a query, and I need to print the result, right? So I'll do a for. No, actually, instead of giving a for, I will go to the user. I will override the toString method. Run source, override implement method, toString. I will return here user ID, return user ID plus username. Give this. Okay, so see here, it is the Hibernate has executed a select query, and it has brought the result for us. It is bringing all the, if we go to the user table, without a query, we didn't write a query. It is bringing me one and the username, everything is, it is bringing me. So this is a simple example of how we connect to database with Hibernate with no queries. It's zero query. We just gave some configuration. We gave some annotation here. We map the column, DB column with the Java column, and we gave just one line of code, 2 lines actually, create criteria and list, that's up. This is bringing me the entire dump. Now I want to add condition. If I want to add condition, like fetch me the records which has username Sunday. So that case, criteria object dot add criterion, no, add is taking a criterion object, but the criterion object can be found in restrictions. There is something called as the restrictions. Restrictions, if you see org.hibernate.criterion. So how do you find this? Through practice it will come. Otherwise, let's go to the documentation. The best place, Hibernate criteria documentation. The link which I gave you, that will have everything. So here, if I go to criteria, they tell me, okay, they have an example. So create criteria, we have given the class, they given add restrictions dot like. So first let me give restrictions dot equal eq. There are tons of methods. See here, there are lots of methods for us to do a query. Even when you study a query, you will not be knowing this much. So equal, it has overloaded method. No, actually, there is no only one method. It accepts property name and object value. So what I will do, The property name is username. That is the property in the Java, right? Username. Sorry, this one. And what is the equivalent value? I want Sunday. So now we will see what is the query Hibernate is generating. So this was the first query. Let me take this and keep it somewhere. Okay, so this is the first query. No, I'll go to Sublime. Okay, so this is the first query which Hibernate generated. Now let us rerun this with a criteria. So this was query.list full table fetch. Now see this query. Only one record has come Sunday because we asked username Sunday. If you see the query, the first section is same. Then it has added where this dot username equal to whatever we gave. See here, you need not know what the query is. You just have to know this equal. Bring me all the record where the username is Sunday, and the Hibernate will do it for you. If you want to add one more column, let us say you want to add user ID is 4. Then it is a chained. You can add like this. You can do dot add. You can add n number of things, or you can add separately also. Criteria obj dot add restrictions dot equal user underscore ID, right? What is the Java name? User underscore ID. So user underscore ID, the value is 4. Okay, if I give like this, what is the query? So as a Java developer, I need not know database. I am only telling the logic. So there is no record returned because it is expected. Sunday is having ID as 1. If we let's see what the query. It is same. See here, it added and because we have given us 2 different restrictions. If we want to give as or, we have here dot add. Inside the add, we can give here as dot restrictions dot add restrictions dot or restrictions dot or 1 second restrictions dot or let me go here dot add dot or restrictions dot or not here. I want to go to okay, here it is, the documentation, because as I say, documentation is the best place for us to read something. Or there is lots of or and or okay, or I have to give 2 criterions. If I go here, the example there is okay, logical first criterion, second criterion. So let me give criterion dot, I'll remove this criterion dot add restrictions dot or. So here I should add restrictions dot equal, what is the name, username username Sunday, comma, I should close this bracket, comma, restrictions dot equals user ID 4. Okay, so everything is good. Let's see. We got 2 results. With Sunday 1 and 4 is another. So you see here it will, instead of this and, it have given here or. So username Sunday, 1 record is there, or user ID 4, another record is there. So both of this record has come up. So this is using where, and this is for and, this is for or. Now let's go there. So there is something called as add order, where we want to order the records by ascending or descending. So let me get convert it to a raw query. I won't add any criteria, and now I want to order. So what I'll do, order criteria dot add order. There is a method add order. Here we can do order dot ASC or descending, ascending or descending, based on which property. If I want to give username, based on username, I want to generate an ascending order query. The Hibernate will automatically generate me. So it is generating based on, yeah, F comes first. F, M, then R, S, T, then UVW. So it is ascending. If I want to make descending, DESC. The query will be reversed. Not only this column, we can give any column. So this query, let's take and let's keep it. Here it is. So see here, order by, there is an order by username descending. If you give ascending, it will be ascending. Okay. What else we have? We have the order. I showed, okay, there is something like, so I wanted to show that. So criteria dot add restrictions dot like. Let's put restrictions dot like. See, like has a different overloaded method. First, I will show you this one. Then I want to show one more thing, which is very handy. If I want to go like username, the username column, I want it to be, let's go to the table. Okay. Day is common everywhere, right? It's what else? ND. Okay, ND. If I give ND, Sunday has ND, Monday has ND. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, only 2 records are having ND. So let's give here ND. So what I am telling, you fetch all the records which is having ND in the username. Let us see what it is bringing. So these are all just logical thinking. You don't need to know any query. This is business knowledge requirement. So let's see the query, why it didn't bring any record. So printing this query will help you to debug. That is why we gave show SQL is true. Okay. If you see where this dot username like this, because it will not give record, we should have a percentage in DB class we saw that either we should have a percentage here or percentage there, but Hibernate didn't put percentage. For that they have another method. I showed you the overloaded method. So we'll add the third parameter here, and that says match mode. There is something called as match mode dot. You see here anywhere end exact start. If I give start, first I'll show anywhere. So now they should bring two records, and in the query should have percentage at the beginning, percentage at the end, which means the ND can be anywhere. Okay, there it is. We got two records. And if you go to this query, where is the query? Yeah, actually it is not displaying in the query, but it is, if you give match mode anywhere, it is doing a percentage and checking in the column it does, so that the text can be anywhere in the column. If I give starts, this means this ND should be starting. I should fetch all the row columns which is having ND as starting. Currently we don't have anything, so Hibernate should not bring anything. But if I give T, it should bring me 1. Okay, let's give yes. If I give yes, it should give me 2 records. If I give T 1 record, if I give ND, it should bring 0 record. Yeah, 0 record. If I give T, Thursday, Tuesday. So it is bringing up. The query is same, but it is bringing up the records. Okay, so this is something very useful. So as they have given the like, we can also, if we don't want to use this match mode, then we can do percentage. So let's try that. ND, I'll do percentage ND percentage. Let us try. Okay, and the result is coming. I'll go to the next. So we have the aggregation function. Let me show. Okay, so ND with percentage is working. Now we have something called as aggregation to sum up, like the row count. So all these. So for that, in the criteria, projections list dot add row count. This alone I will do. So this criteria I will delete. Criteria dot set projections. Projections is another class provided, so we have to use it. Okay, dot add projection count. So just one additional information. There is, if you see here, there is a name as Gavin. 1 second, what is wrong here? I should add one more brace here. Yeah. Okay, there is a name here as Gavin King. So he was the one, and I think Rod, one more person is there. I missed the name. They have a book. They wrote a book which is very good book. I've read it. It is Spring. They wrote a Hibernate book and also a Spring book and integration book, which is very nice. I don't remember the name, but you can search for this author, Gavin King, and Rod Thompson or Johnson. I don't know. Rod Spring book, which is Rod Johnson, yeah. And this book name I don't. Rod Johnson. Actually, Rod Johnson Spring book. There is one book, not this one. One second, let me, because it is very, very useful book. Since I thought if I can tell you, you can download and or you can buy it. Hibernate first. I think it comes. Okay, maybe if I find, I'll tell you. But you can buy books from Rod Johnson and Gavin King. They are the one who initially developed this, like way back in 26, 27, when it was coming. Their book was very nice. Since it was from the author, it was very nice. So you can refer that. Okay, coming back to this. Let us run this and see. So what it is coming. Okay, it is coming as 9. So why 9? You see here, when I give the projection, it is same like select count of 1 from this user. That's what it is generating. So what all we can do, see here, all the basic things which we need, we are able to do it. We can run the select count, and I can add criteria along with this, like criteria dot add restrictions dot equal restrictions dot like username ND comma match mode dot anywhere. I will give this. What is missing? Semicolon. Okay. Here too. So for this query, it is giving me just the count. If I don't have this projection, it will give me all the records. It gave me all the records initially. If I have this, it is count. So you can do everything. Most of the needs in basic application can be done using Hibernate. What happened? So if I commented this projection, the entire two records will come with the value. Okay, that is good. Now if I go here, add order, create alias is just an alias. It doesn't have anything with the query. Create alias, create criteria we saw, get alias list we saw, and fetch size is for pagination. In the criteria, we can, let us say we have a pagination, only 10 records has to be fetched. Then we will give criteria dot set first result 1. Criteria dot set max results 10. So only 10 will be fetched. Let's try it. Now this query will have a limit as first record 1 and the last record as 10. See, there is a limit. So this, and then did I start the recording? Yes. Okay. Out now. And then fetch size flush mode. The flush mode is something. Okay, I'll come later on this because flush itself is a different lot topic. Max results projection we saw, result transformers. I'll come out saying unique result. Unique result is like a distinct where we want to fetch only one result in from a query will give unique result. If there are multiple, then it is going to throw error. And that's not a big thing. Okay, so using criteria, we can do these things. Let us go and see. Any questions so far? I'm just going in the basics.
Rajesh, is it mandatory to buy the book, the one which you told before?
I'm sorry, what is that?
Is it mandatory to buy the book what you told before?
No. It is not mandatory, but that will give a good explanation. I found that book very nice. If you can get a PDF version of the book, or so, I mean, you can use it. If you have some time and detail you want to study that, then that will be a good. Like if you want to buy a book, or if you want to get a PDF copy, then go for that edition. That's what my suggestion was.
Sure.
That will give you that has lots of examples. And everything is given, and moreover it is from the author, so they have covered everything in depth. Nothing is missed out there. The PDF version also is available, I guess. You can freely download also. If there is a necessity for you to learn Hibernate in depth for a project, then I'll prefer going to that book. Okay, so next I want me show one. I want to show the
Rajesh, I can't hear your voice. You are on mute.
Hello, now is it audible?
Yeah, it's audible.
Okay. I was telling we can get a connection from the Hibernate, not this one. I want to session implementation. No. Okay, there is a way, not this one. I'll find out. But what we can do is we can get the connection from the Hibernate session and then pass it to the call the regular methods. So we can also run the queries using the Hibernate connection. There is something get one second. I'll equate it to connection. dot open session dot get transfer. No, I'll find out how to get a connection. Tomorrow I'll show you, but it is possible. Okay, now coming back, how do we execute a query? So in that case, I will comment this entirely. So session object dot. There is something as create SQL query. There is a method in Hibernate. So people who know query, sometimes you may find a query to be more useful than triggering the Hibernate query automatically. In that case, we'll go for query. I can go here, select star from T001 user. So which is same create SQL query. What it is going to return? It is going to return a native query. Create SQL query, native query. So I'll native query equal to this. So let me query dot list. It is same. I give a query dot list and I can equate to list obj equal to query dot list. And let me see. So here it is. We got the result. If I want to print the result, let me see whether it will not be as odd. It cannot be casted to a T001 because we are writing manual query. Okay, so we have the list. So list, if you see list of 0, 1, 2, 3, when we iterate it, and in the 0th value I'm getting. So it's an array, object array of 0, object array of 1, and object array of 2. So this way we can fetch the results. So going to Hibernate, it is not mandatory that you should be using only these kind of mappings and do it. It is more than that. You can write your traditional JDBC call. So which means Hibernate is one layer above the traditional JDBC. So using Hibernate, you can also work on JDBC. So we can completely ignore and skip the JDBC call. If you know Hibernate, you need not know the JDBC because you can do those features also. There is nothing that which is missing in Hibernate and which is there only in the regular JDBC call. So that is for sure. So any questions?
Rajesh, nowadays, usually all the clients, they're using this Hibernate technology or JDBC. I think
JDBC is out. They don't go for JDBC now.
Okay.
Because the creation of connection is manual, and manual connection means there is a lot of human error. Hibernate will manage the connection automatically. So they go for ORM, Hibernate, IBATIS, all those things only. JDBC, I don't see anyone using JDBC now. Like
Now just we came to know the thing how the JDBC works, and just for the knowledge purpose, right?
Correct, because that is apparent. Hibernate uses JDBC to work, so you should know how JDBC works. That is why every time I teach you the root. Servlets are the root. It has been 15 years now since I learned servlets. Lots of advanced technologies have come, but everything uses servlet only. Behind the
Okay.
screen, they use it, they don't expose to the customer. So it doesn't mean that we are not using servlets. We are using servlet. The same way, we use JDBC only. Hibernate uses JDBC behind the screen. So you need to know how basically to connect to a database. That is why I taught you how to do that. The same way, even if Angular comes or whatever may be coming, the XML HTTP request of how jQuery was using, that is the basic. Not even jQuery. Before to jQuery, Ajax.
Okay.
XML HTTP request, that is the basic for all the web technologies now. So even before jQuery was introduced, from the JavaScript XML HTTP request, that was the one which was sending the HTTP call from the HTML page through a JavaScript. So people started using that as a base. Oh my God, I can use this to send to the server. Why don't I improvise it? So they gave a beautiful look to it and they called it as jQuery. And jQuery was doing, oh my God, I'm able to do such a wonder. Let me add more flavor to it. AngularJS came. And they thought, okay, this is going good. Let me add more flavor to it, and Angular came. That is how the things evolve.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this you would have got a basic, right? You got an understanding of how to execute. So we saw like a bunch of things today, how to execute all these things. Normal. So I'll repeat how we are doing the configuration once again, so that what it is. I think it is done, right? It is done. Okay. So the first step is Hibernate util file. I created one normal Java file. I am calling it as util file. And here I am giving the configuration. I am giving the configurations as the URL, username, password. If I give show SQL false, then I will not get a SQL query. Whatever Hibernate is doing behind, you will not know it. We will think like some magic is happening. We will not know the query.
Okay.
So here the query is missing now. So, but if you enable, you will understand that, okay, Hibernate is also using the query only, but they are writing a logic to generate the query. That's all. Okay, so we wrote the configuration file and we added the class. By the way, I can add more class to it. So tomorrow I'll show you that. I can add, I need to add one more domain class here as address. And here I should add the address.class. And that's all. The session factory will be built using this syntax. If we call this, Hibernate will automatically build the session factory. In the main program, we call the session factory. So the session factory is built. In the web application, this should be called only once in the application. This should never be called twice. And open session also we recommend using only once, because we will be using the connection pooling. You see here, already the Hibernate here, see here, connection pool is 20, means 20 connections are available. I'm using only one connection now. And after my query is executed, 20 is again available. It is not that one will be blocked for my browser or my thread. Every time a query is hit, one connection will be used, and after that, that will be released and will be sent to the connection pooling. Okay. So we build the session factory. Using the session factory, we create a criteria. Criteria is the condition based on which the records has to be fetched. We give the class name. Now the class name is internally mapped to a database table. This table name, the column names, the column names. So these are the Java value, these are the table values. So using criteria, we can do a bunch of queries like normal select query. We can use AND condition, we can use OR condition, we use the ordering, ascending or descending, and we use a like join. starts with, ends with match mode anywhere. And then we use projections to find the count and count with the criteria. And then we use limits for pagination queries. So we learned all of these today in a standalone program. So tomorrow we will we will add one more domain. We will add the address table also. We have address table and language and payments table. We are yet to see still the one-to-many and many-to-one mapping. So those things, some interesting topics are there. So we can go over the rest of the week. Any questions you can ask me now?
Rajesh, just it is an out of box question. Just I sent you one snapshot in the chart.
Chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't see?
Yes, I am opening it. This one, right?
Yeah. Actually, the thing we are establishing one federation. We are integrating one federation server to one of the syncing server, Azure AD Connect. Okay.
Okay.
In that, from Azure AD, from the syncing server, we are not trying to establish relaying party trust in the federation server. We sent one Microsoft ticket to the team, and they told that they given this message. I sent some logs to them, and they told that the root domain of the ADFS farm. Here, the ADFS farm is one of the server. Is part of another tenant. That means I didn't get the third sentence what they are trying to tell me.
Okay, what they tell is the root domain of ADFS farm, that is a server, is part of another tenant. The AAD tenant in question won't be able to federate with it as it's verified and added to another tenant.
Here ADFS farm is one server. Azure AAD tenant is the syncing server. Both are servers. They're talking about the domain. I didn't get this one. They're telling the both has to be in one domain.
Yeah, what they are telling is the AAD tenant, you have issues in AAD tenant?
Yes.
Okay. So the AAD tenant in the question won't be able to federate with it. Mean you are trying to sync AAD with ADFS, correct?
Yes.
So that time only you are having an issue.
Yes.
So what they are telling is you are not able to sync AAD with ADFS because ADFS is part of some other tenant.
Here the tenant means we can say it's
maybe it is coupled with some other server or some other maybe AD Active Directory or something like that.
Okay.
I'm not sure of that tenant word. Maybe it is linked or coupled with something else.
Okay.
Or it has a detail of something else. So to solve this, what they are telling is the ADFS farm server may need to be rebuilt with a domain that's part of the target tenant. So which means the AAD tenant, right? That also needs to be given in the ADFS farm, and the server needs to be aware of this AAD tenant. Only then you'll be able to sync.
Okay.
So maybe you should contact the ADFS farm server team on this what is tenant and how do you rebuild that ADFS server so that it is aware of AAD tenant, the AAD server.
Okay.
They basically the ADFS server needs to know or needs to have some kind of relationship with the AAD server. That is why in the last they are telling the ADFS farm, the server may need to be rebuilt. You have to rebuild the server with a domain that is part of the target tenant, which is AAD tenant. So the ADFS form server needs to be built with the identity so that it knows what AAD is. And to avoid the federation cross domain crossing, the cross domains means we call it as a CSRF, cross domain, cross server request forge, means if there are two servers of different domain names, they cannot talk to each other unless the server provides the access. They have to confirm the access. Otherwise, the servers cannot talk. That is what cross domain means. So what they mentioned here
Okay,
is
I got
this,
you. It has to be in the one domain.
they
The
both are
ADFS
in different domains,
but
and
it
that
has.
is why
Okay.
they are not able to talk.
Okay, got you. All right. Thank you.
Great. Super. Okay. Let's pause here for today, and let's revisit tomorrow same time. Okay. Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay, great. So we'll pause here. If there are any questions that you can ask me now, or else we'll pause here for now, and we'll restart the same time tomorrow. No questions?
Yeah, I think we are good.
Okay, super. So we'll meet tomorrow same time again. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye. Take care.